Peterson here from 365daysofcrockpot.com. Today I'm going to be showing you my new Instant Pot. I just got this in the mail and it is the Instant Pot 7-in-1. And this is the one that is about $100 on Amazon. And it has the yogurt maker in it, as well as all these other functions. Now I have this other one, the Instant Pot IPLUX, and it has been awesome. In fact, I'm cooking some quinoa in it right now, but it does not have the yogurt function, and there's just a couple other little things that are different from this newer one. So I wanted to show you what your Instant Pot will look like when you get yours. So a lot of people are intimidated because they get this big thing and they don't know what to do with it. So the first thing that I would suggest is definitely reading the user manual from cover to cover. It's really not that thick because like a quarter of it is in English and the 3/4 of it is in different languages. So really this will only take you 15 minutes to read. But it will give you one really good thing that you need to do when you get your Instant Pot, and that is to do this test run. You can see right there, test run. And it just goes through that and walks you through how to do that. That's on page 17 of the manual. But before you cook in the Instant Pot, you're supposed to do this initial test run, and that will go through that. So that's the first thing that you'll get out of your box is the user manual. And the other thing is this handy dandy pressure cooker recipes book. And it has a bunch of different recipes, and it also has kind of a chart. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. Yeah, so it has a chart of basic foods and how long you would cook them, grains, meats, all sorts of things like that. And that will come in handy as you're kind of just like making up your own recipes, like, oh, how long do I cook a pot roast for? You know, this will come in handy. So I keep this just with my other cookbooks because I do pull it out quite a bit as I'm like wondering how long to cook oatmeal, etc. So that is the second thing that you'll find in your box that you get. Registration materials. Here is the outlet, the plug-in cord. And then we're just going to take this guy out of the box. Here's the Instant Pot. I'm just going to go over a couple things that are kind of important on it that you'll need to know. So I mentioned that initial test run that you'll do, but after that, you'll notice that there's a lot of different functions on here. The one that I use the most is the manual function. And as you read recipes on my site and other websites, usually they'll say cook on a certain pressure manual for, 10 minutes or something like that. So there are other recipes that you'll use that'll use like the soup button, the meat button, beans, chili, poultry, rice, porridge, blah, blah, blah. But most of the time you're just gonna be using that manual button. Another thing that I use a lot of times is the saute button. So if there's any time I'm making a recipe that things need to be brown before they, get cooked, or, sauteing some onions or whatever it might be, this is the button that you'll use. And when you push the saute button or the slow cook button or the manual button, there's going to be this chance to do less or more. Also low pressure or high pressure. So depending on the recipe and depending how much heat you need for the saute function or slow cook function, is you'll use these minus and plus buttons right here. Here's where you adjust the pressure, adjust, manual. Here's where you set the timer. This is the keep warm function, which is really nice. It automatically, after a cycle goes, it will automatically switch to the keep warm function. Basically, this is what you need to know. The other thing that's really important is the lid just clicks off like that. Of course, there's plastic and other things in here, but we will just discard of that. But one thing that comes really in handy that you'll get with your Instant Pot is this trivet. It's a metal trivet. And what I use it for is to place food on top of it. You put water underneath. It goes inside the pot in your Instant Pot. And it's great for putting the hard boil, if you're hard boiling eggs, you put the eggs on top of this, the water goes underneath. You always need like half a cup to a cup of water in your Instant Pot to be able to let it come to pressure. So you'll always have liquid in there, but sometimes you don't want your food to sit in the liquid. So that's where this comes in handy. So that's a little trivet that comes with it. The other thing that you'll really need to know is, now put the lid back on so you can see. But your lid will click in like that, and then you'll pop it to close. You can see here where it has a little padlock, meaning that it is closed. But a lot of the recipes will say, you know, make sure that that the pressure, that it's sealed. So before, you know, you start a recipe that you're pressure cooking, you want this to be on the sealed function right there, sealing. And then if you're going to release the pressure at the end of the cooking time, you'll quickly move it over to venting. Now, if you're like, oh, I don't know if it's, you know, if there's pressure still in it or whatnot, that's where you'll see this little pin. The pin pops up when there's pressure, and when the pressure is completely released, it drops down. And so that's what you'll know. Right now, there's no pressure in it, so it's dropped all the way down. But when it's cooking with pressure, it'll pop right back up. So that's the other thing that you're kind of like need to know. So a lot of people get nervous. Is it going to blow up? What's going to happen? It's just this release of steam, and I like to stand back from it. Some people like to put a dish towel over it so that the steam doesn't like hit their ceiling or whatever. I don't really worry about that too much, but anyway, you can see that it's totally almost all released, and now the pin, this thing right here, is going to drop down, indicating that it is, oh, did you see it? Indicating that we can now open the pressure cooker. There's not a lot to it though. Really, it's pretty easy to learn if you're familiar with slow cooking. The Instant Pot won't be that much different than that. It will just cook a lot faster, and I think you're going to really like it. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. Thanks. Bye bye.